Hi, welcome back! My name is Ellie, and you're watching the Easy Channel, where we keep things simple and easy. Today I'll be telling you about 5 mistakes I made when I first started the curly girl method. I'm about 2 months in right now, so there's probably going to be more mistakes in the future, but I'll just update you in another video if that's the case. Woo! Mistake number 1. I didn't do a final wash. For those of you who don't know, a final wash is when you take a shampoo that has a harsh cleansing agent, such as a sulfate, and you wash your hair before starting the curly girl method. You might have some residual silicones from your previous washes that you need to get out before starting the curly girl method. Because when you start the curly girl method, you don't use harsh cleansing agents anymore, so it's really hard to get some of those substances out. So they'll just stay on your hair until you wash them out. So this oftentimes causes a lot of buildup for a lot of curly girls. Now, if you've already started the curly girl method and you realize that you also didn't do a final wash and you go back and check the labels on your old conditioner and you saw that it had silicones in it, don't worry. You can still do a final wash even though you've already started the curly girl method. Basically what I did to remedy this was I did one last wash with a sulfate shampoo, and then I followed it up with a deep conditioning treatment. That way you start to return some of that moisture that you just got out of your hair. This leads me to mistake number 2. My second mistake was I didn't double check the labels on my conditioners or hair products that I used before. Basically when I looked at the labels, I was looking for the word silicone, not some of the other ones where it's not as obvious. A lot of chemicals that we aren't supposed to use in the curly girl method happen to have odd names. Pretty much anything that ends in cone is a silicone that isn't curly girl friendly. But there are a few silicones that are okay to use, and there's a few alcohols that are moisturizing, and you might not know them all off the top of your head. Here's the conditioner that I used before starting the curly girl method. It's the Nourishing Coconut Milk Conditioner by OGX. I was honestly shocked to learn that this wasn't curly girl friendly. So when I first started, I used this for my first deep conditioning, or with my first deep conditioning treatment. And when I went to go back and look at the label, the first couple of ingredients are fine, like water, ceteryl, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, alcohol, which is a moisturizing alcohol, just kind of stuff like that. Oh, coconut oil, oh, that's great for my hair. But then I looked down and dun dun dun, there was dimethicone. Now, dimethicone is a type of silicone and it's not water soluble, so it's not curly girl friendly. There's lots of other products that are like this as well. My deep conditioner had mineral oil in it and I used that weekly. I only stopped using it, I think 2 weeks ago. So, yeah. Double check your labels. There's oftentimes websites that people can use, so even if you think you know all of the chemicals that make it curly girl or not curly girl friendly, just plug it into curlsbot.com or isitcg.com or I can't quite remember the exact links, but I'll put the links down below for those apps so that way you can just double check and make sure that it's not just in your head. I was full of myself. I was like,
I know what this is. I'm fine. I don't need to double check.
And then I ended up making a bunch of mistakes because of that. Mistake number 3. Now, there isn't really an incorrect way to use a product, but there kind of is. I used my products incorrectly. The 2 ways I used them incorrectly was I used them for something they weren't intended to use, which can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. You don't always have to use a product in the way that it states, but sometimes it really is there for a reason. For example, I took this Curls Passion Fruit Curl Control Paste. Now this is pretty good stuff, but I thought it was a hair gel. This stuff, while it is nifty, you're really supposed to just kind of take a little bit of it and like put it at the ends of your hair to kind of keep the curls from breaking apart, because you might have a curl clump or something. Oh, can't get this screwed. But yeah, so I would basically use the praying hands method and I would put it all throughout my hair. So my hair ended up looking really, really, really stringy because I used it instead of hair gel.
You better stop!
Now sometimes you can use conditioners like deep conditioners, or you can alter them to do that. Or you can use gels as curls enhancers versus an actual gel or something like that. So you don't have to use products the way they're meant to be. But also, like, keep in mind of what it is. If you have a shampoo, you're not going to turn it into a conditioner. Like, that's just not going to work. And in my case, this curls paste is a paste, it's not a gel. It might work well as a gel for you, but it certainly did not for me. So you really want to, like, pay attention to how it's reacting to your hair. Another way you can use a product incorrectly, besides just using it for what it's not intended to be, is applying it wrong. Now, there isn't a wrong way to apply products. Everyone's hair is different, so what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. You make or break a product on how you apply it. It could be the best product in the world for your hair, but you might not know it if you're applying it in a way that your hair just hates. So look up videos on how to do different methods of applying stuff to your hair. Fourth mistake I made was not bothering to learn my curl type. Now, I knew how my curls felt on the 1 to 4C scale. Honestly, that scale really didn't help. It doesn't help you choose the products you need. What you really need to know is if your hair is fine or coarse or somewhere in the middle. You need to know your porosity, and you need to know how dense it is, because basically that's how you want to choose your products. If you know how products enter your hair and affect your hair, then you know which ones to look for and which ingredients are good and which ingredients are bad. At the very beginning of my curly girl journey, I started using a bunch of products that had coconut oil in it. And while my hair really likes coconut oil, it makes it all shiny and pretty, it's also really, really, really heavy. I have fine and low porosity hair, at least I think I do. And so my hair gets weighed down very easily. So coconut oil basically just kind of straightens out my curls. But so basically, you want to learn your porosity and your hair type as soon as possible. So that way you don't just go spending money on a bunch of products that don't work for you. I'll include a couple of videos in the description down below of my favorite YouTubers covering how you can tell your hair porosity and other methods that you want to type your hair with. The final mistake, mistake number 5, that I made was I didn't listen to my hair. I was like,
Oh, I know what I need to do. This is good. I'm fine. I know the curly girl method. I'm a curly master, obviously. Look at this, like, tiny curl I have in my hair.
but I was just kind of being full of myself. Basically, I first started off with only co-washing. I first started the curly girl method being very strict to it. And co-washing is great. If you need a lot of moisture, go for it. Only co-wash, clarify maybe once a month. But for me, I need to clarify weekly. Now, I'm still trying to figure out if I need a heavy clarifying treatment every week or every other week or not. But I get a lot of dandruff buildup if I only co-wash. And at first, I just kind of kept going at it. I was like, co-washing will solve all my problems. I'll get all of the dandruff out if I just scrape hard enough. No, it didn't work. I ended up doing a DIY treatment with baking soda and like, it was a brown sugar, baking soda and brown sugar to basically act as like an exfoliant and a cleanse, because I just had so much dandruff on my hair by that point. Like, that was a month, kicked my stand, a month in. Oh my gosh. It was kind of gross. It was like winter wonderland on my head. Sorry for that TMI. But yeah, listen to your hair. It kind of attaches to all of the points I was saying before, about applying your products correctly, about looking for products that are like the right heaviness for you, and yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Easy channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and maybe even hit the notification bell if you're interested in being notified every time I come out with a video. Also, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's CGM Diary. I'll put the link in the description below. Alright, can't wait to see you next time. Bye!